what is faith? What is faith? So faith is knowledge plus decision plus action. It's about knowing who God is and acting on it, but it's only because of him. So when you think of knowledge, think about grace, because grace is knowledge, it's evidence. And so we gather knowledge and truth from the scripture, from testimony, from creation itself, when we look at the stars, the moon, people, and so forth and so on. When you think about decision, think about belief. So belief is when we accept something as fact, okay? It's an act of our free will. That's what belief is. It's our decision. And then when you think about action, obviously, it's works. It's when we act on what we know and believe. Because sometimes what we act on is not something we see. A lot of times it's what's unseen. So here's an analogy, right? Faith and works is like knowledge and wisdom. You can have knowledge by itself. A person can have knowledge without wisdom. But a person of wisdom has to also have knowledge, because wisdom is when you apply what you know. It's the application of knowledge. And so knowledge is like faith in a sense, only when faith is dead. Because when faith stands alone, it's no longer living. And then works is like wisdom. So in faith and works, just as knowledge and wisdom, it's always tied to a person. It's never tied to a system or to a thing. So let's just say a person has knowledge, right? That if they go to the gym and go on a caloric deficit, that they will lose weight, right? That's knowledge. And then they make a decision to believe that knowledge is true or factual. And so they apply themselves. They take what they know and then they put it to work. We see here faith and works. We see here knowledge and wisdom. And again, it's always tied to a person. And we can use this practically on ourselves, with other people, and ultimately with God. So let's look at some examples in scripture where we see people have the knowledge of God and then they act on it. Verse 8, it says, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one go, and he goes, and that one come, and he comes. I say to my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard this, he was amazed and following him. Truly, I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith. And so we see here that the centurion, he acted on what he knew about God, his knowledge of God, his knowledge of Jesus. He was describing Jesus' kingdom, Jesus' authority. Like, you were given authority. You can tell this person, go here, and they do it. And also that Jesus, if you speak a word, I know that it's possible with you, that my servant can be healed. Another example is Peter, right? When Peter was walking on water, was that Matthew 14? Walking on water, and they figured it was Jesus. And so in verse 28, he says this, Lord, if it's you, tell me to come to you on the water. And then Jesus said, come. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. Again, his knowledge of Jesus. Lord, if that's you, I know that it's possible with you that I can walk on water. See, our knowledge, knowing who God is, that knowledge, which is also grace, is what enables us to make a decision and what empowers us to do it.